All right, here we are for our first set of problems. And our first set of problems for the ionic empirical stuff is they're going to ask you what the mass percents are. Now, a percent is pretty easy. It's just the part over the total, except that we know that atoms don't all weigh the same thing. So in this particular one, we are dealing with aluminum and we are dealing with oxygen here. So we have to add up everything for aluminum and oxygen and figure out what the total is. So we have Al2O3, which is obviously an Al, and 3 O's. Aluminum's 27 and oxygen is 16 3 times. So again, if you check those things out there, yeah, I rounded a little bit. I'm just going to call that 27. I'm going to call that 16. So if you add all of this up together, you get 102. So that is the total. And remember that a percent is just part over the total, and so a mass percent is just the grams part over the total grams. So the mass percent of aluminum is going to be the two aluminum parts that are here. So here are the aluminum parts, and if you add 27 and 27 together, you get 54. So that's going to be up top here 54, and then the total down below is just the 102, and don't forget to multiply it by 100% for that. So your mass percent of aluminum is going to be 52.9%. So your mass percent of aluminum in this problem is 52.9%. Now the oxygen is going to be the exact same process, except that instead of it being the aluminum, it's going to be the oxygen part. So the oxygen part is going to be 3/16. So you're just going to take your 3/16 and get 48 divided by the total of 102. So your mass percent of oxygen is then going to be 47.1%. Not that you couldn't have figured that out with only two substances in the compound, because if the aluminum is 52.9, then the oxygen has to be 47.1 to add up to be 100%.